One emotion that a lot of people battle even after they've removed themselves from toxic relationships is shame. In today's video, I want to talk about what we do wrong when we're trying to overcome shame. And I'm also going to give you tips on what you can do so that you can see an immediate change in how you handle shame and how you feel, even starting today. So let's get started. My name is Michele. I'm a life coach, and I'm dedicated to helping people to break through subconscious programming so that they can become their authentic self. If that's a topic that you'd like to learn about, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon because I put out videos every week. Also, if you find my information helpful, make sure that you hit the like button and comment below because it really does help me on this platform. So with that in mind, what do we do wrong when we're trying to overcome these intense feelings of shame? What we do wrong is we try to stifle the emotion. We try to reject the emotion. We try to not feel it.
Everybody's waiting for me. I can't do it. They're going to judge me. I'm a freak. I can't function in public situations. I can't do this. I hate myself. I can't stand this.
Look, I don't want to go in. I'm really scared. There's something wrong with me. They're going to see it. They're going to judge me. What are you doing here? God, you're going to ruin everything. Can you just please leave? Stop. Go away. You're going to ruin everything. When we treat our shame like that, it only makes shame more powerful and more overwhelming for us. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Okay, let's think about it for a second. So let's say there's a person that wants to rob us, right, in our life. And we see evidence of them being a thief, but we ignore it. We reject it. We pay no attention to it. That thief has more power because we're not aware of what they're doing, right? Another instance, let's say there's a bully. You're in school and or work and there's a bully in your life. The more you ignore, reject, and hide from that bully, the more power that bully has. So it's the same thing with shame. When we reject it, it has more power, but it's even worse than that. Okay, not only does it have more power, but without realizing it, we are treating ourselves exactly how the toxic person in our life treated us. Think about it for a moment. If you were made to feel bad as a child, right? You were made to feel hurt. Somebody hurt your feelings. And you bring that emotion to your parent. If your parent was toxic, that parent invalidated, rejected, and ignored your feelings. They made you feel invisible, and worse, they made you feel bad for even having that emotion. So when shame shows up in your life and you reject it and you deny it and you invalidate it and you don't even want to pay attention to it, without realizing it, you're treating yourself the way that toxic person treated you. And how sad, right? So we see that that way of treating shame doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work because anybody that's doing that right now in their life knows that shame keeps banging on their soul, demanding their attention. It doesn't go away no matter how hard you try to stifle it. So here's the new way. Here's a better, more effective way that can help you to start feeling a change, a shift immediately. I can't do it. Hey, shame. I knew you were going to show up. It's okay. It's okay that you're here. I understand why you're here. I mean, you've been made to feel like there's something wrong with you for so long. I get it. It makes sense. And that wasn't fair to you. You didn't deserve that. You know what? I'm going to be with you the whole night. It doesn't matter what other people think. It's okay that you're here. I love you. I've got your back. Even if you're scared, I'm going to be with you the whole time. Rather than hate our shame, we need to validate. Don't hate, validate. When we treat shame in this way, it dissipates because what it really wants, what it's really needing is validation. As children, you probably didn't get the validation you needed from your parents. If you were in a toxic relationship, for any feeling you felt, you didn't receive validation. Our emotions need validation. And I'm sure a lot of you understand that because I bet you crave validation. The problem is that when we're craving validation, we're thinking that the only people that can give us that validation is somebody outside of ourselves. What we don't realize is the power of self-validation. And what our emotions and feelings need is our own self-validation. Something that helped me to begin putting this in practice, and I say begin because when I first learned about this, I was like, yeah, right, that's not going to work. And I didn't even put it into practice for a while until I saw that no matter what I was doing, no matter how much I was trying to reject and ignore shame, it was still there. It wasn't until I started putting this into practice in my own life that I felt the benefit of doing what I'm showing you today. So I know that if you're watching, you may not believe that this really works. You won't believe it until you try it, until you taste it, and then you'll be able to see the benefits. But what helped me to even want to start putting this into practice was I realized that invalidated emotions are like trapped emotions that are trapped inside of us because we didn't have the emotional maturity or the emotional literacy to understand what was going on. Shame was deflected onto us and we didn't know that it wasn't ours and we soaked it up. Or maybe the toxic person in our life constantly hurt us and made us feel shame, right, by what they said or how they treated us. So it was constantly put inside of us and we didn't understand why and we didn't know how to work through it. So when I first started, what I would do is I would imagine that the shame that was coming up in the present, the shame that I was feeling in the present moment often had nothing to do with the woman that I was now or today. And it had to do with unresolved shame from the past. So in a way, rather than hating shame when it would come up, or rather than dreading if it was going to come up, I began to view it as an opportunity to heal past pain. So when you view it that way, you change, first of all, how you feel about it when it does show up. And second of all, you treat yourself so much better because you realize that this is a piece of you from the past that is still hurting because the shame is trapped. It's trapped inside. It hasn't been processed and released. And when you use that self-talk that I showed earlier with your shame, you are seeing, hearing, and caring about it. You're validating it and you're processing and releasing it. And it is so powerful. What it does is it heals that past pain. It calms you in the moment because the shame doesn't overtake you anymore. You feel more in control of yourself. You feel more confident because you're integrated now. You're not divorcing parts of yourself. You're not shoving parts of yourself into the shadow. You're whole. You're loving yourself and you're in a stronger place inside. I challenge you to try this and let me know how it goes in the comment section below.